There's a silver lining, is what I'm saying.
That's fair. That's fair, Nick.
Private eye.
What if it was Nick?
That might be the episode title, dude. Deuce Dickey's Private Eye is pretty fucking great.
She walked in, and I can tell just what she wanted. She wanted both barrels from Deuce Dick.
Bow wow! Deuce Dickey's. Oh, God. Cut to the credits. I love that.
From fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Pod Therapy. Real people, real problems, and real therapists. You can submit your questions anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. And now broadcasting from the unnamed studio, that's Jim, that's Whitney, I'm Nick. It's time for some Pod Therapy.
It's Mental Health Awareness Month, as many of you already know, and we are just loving all the support that we are getting from the community. Lots of people enjoying the videos now. So if you're at patreon.com/therapy, if you're at the Therapod level and up, you get access to the video. You are watching all these beautiful hosts right now on YouTube. Everywhere that you can use YouTube, you get the special link. Jacob is giving you a gesture, as many of you audio folks don't know. I'm teasing it. I'm selling it. This is how you do it, man. This is marketing. Patreon.com/therapy. Support us for nothing interesting. And I really wish you'd work on that.
That's true. You don't even need the video.
You're teasing in your own way.
Saving it. You're doing so good.
Teasing in your own way.
Yeah.
So we've got the video up all month for everybody at the Therapod level and up. We've also got these deep behind the pod interviews. In week 1, we published Emma the Intern's interview with the great Jacob Smith, which may or may not be a real name. This week, we are airing Emma's interview with Nick, which I listened to, and it is fantastic. This one really pivots. I think with Jacob, it was a little bit more like, hey, listener questions, kind of keeping it light. With Nick, she really pulled you over the coals here, buddy. She really took you to the woodshed. Really got into the history. Got into what is a Nick Tangement.
What makes Nick tick?
Started with, what the fuck are you thinking?
What are you thinking?
And she's scared now. She wishes she didn't ask some of these questions.
Yeah, it was.
We went to a deep, dark place.
You are.
Who the hell? So yeah, that interview is coming out now. I believe we're working on getting Whitney on calendar as well. Check your fucking email, Whitney. She's been trying to reach out to her. And I'll be doing it as well. We're releasing one every month.
Called out on air.
I've been looking and I don't see it.
Give me your phone. Give me your phone, Whitney.
We're going through this.
Did you give her the right email?
For all I know, it's the one I saw in the bathroom stall. So that's the one I gave her. I assume it's good. It was whitneylv@gmail.com. I'm sure that's the real one. So check it out, patreon.com/therapy. You'll get all of our extra content. Sign up for the year. Just jump over there. Sign up for a year at any level. But if you're at the Therapod level and up, you get access to all of our extra content, our entire 9-year library that's all available the instant you sign up. And remember, once you sign up, you just get the regular show. You get the extended show, ad-free, a day earlier, pumped into the same RSS that you already enjoy. And if you're at the Therapod level and up, you also get the video version if you'd like to enjoy that as well. It's a good time. And at the end of this month, we're going to be doing a live show. We're still working on the dates on that, but anybody who's in our Patreon is going to be invited, and we're going to be sending out a special email through Patreon to all of our supporters over there who are going to find out exactly how to tune in live, and they can join the chat room. They can talk to us throughout the show, and we're going to be doing a special format. So we're doing things. Patreon.com/therapy. Come support us. Throw some coin in the hat. Make it possible. Support us for the year. If you'd like a guest subscription, if you're a little hard on money, but you could really use this service and access to the library and all the other things, and you'd like to join the community, we have a lot of folks who have bought gift packages. And so they've said, hey, I'm just going to go ahead and buy a gift subscription. Here you go. And they've given us the link. We can give that to you. And so if you already are on a free plan, or maybe you're on a TheraPal plan and you'd like to upgrade to one of the plans that actually has all the extra content, we have gift subscriptions to give you. So if you need that, reach out to us. If you're out there and you're already a supporter and you've got a little bit extra and you wouldn't mind, sponsoring somebody, go ahead and do that. You could do that right through the Patreon. It's right there as a gift subscription option. And then just send us the link, and we'll make sure that goes to a good person, and all will be well. Anyway, fun things. Patreon.com/therapy. Support us for Mental Health Awareness Month. And we've got some great questions for today's show, starting with our longtime friend and therapy producer, Tess, who we've been running a GoFundMe campaign for, because Tess didn't start the fire. And here's the letter.
Allegedly.
Lazy.
Yeah. Buckle up, y'all, because this one is a doozy. It's Tess. Thank you so much for reading my recent medication update. I come with more info and also an update on some questions on processing after a trauma. Read house fire. As you know by now, Dustin and I have gone through a house fire.
What?
The fire itself was contained to the basement where we had tenants, but our space suffered heavy smoke damage. One of our cats didn't make it out. The other is still frightful and traumatized. The dog, who was at work with me, couldn't care less. The fire department...
Typical dog.
Lazy.
These cats are upset about something.
I don't get it.
Yeah,
That's
this
why I
dog is
love
like,
dogs.
where the
Only
fuck
one.
is Larry? What is going on around here? And why is Charlie so fucking scared?
One of the cats has gotten really hidey. I hadn't seen him in days.
Poor dog. He's like, where's the tenants? And who are all these skeletons? The fire department...
You're giving dogs way too much credit.
That's true.
They don't ask questions.
They're just there.
It smells like
For the
jerky
treats.
in this house. That's all I know. The fire department did their investigation and said the cause couldn't be determined, which essentially meant that it could be any number of outside factors besides wiring or cooking, etc. Our tenants, who are frankly lazy parents who allow their kids to draw on walls, destroy our backyard, and scream for 23 hours out of the day, never contacted us. Nor did they contact my dad, who actually owns the house. Radio silence from them. Several days after the fire, I had a friend of one of our tenants reach out privately to let me know what happened. The middle child of the tenants, who was 4, was supposed to be napping, apparently had access to a butane jet lighter, and he lit the mattress cover on fire.
That'll do it.
Holy shit.
Jesus.
See, the CPS exists in Canada. Like,
Jesus Christ. When my dad finally was able to reach the tenant, she did not volunteer that information. This is why y'all need the video.
Kazoo popped out.
it just popped right out of there.
We've all been there, buddy. They have pills for that now. Directly after the fire, I immediately was in contact with the insurance and restoration companies to allow us to gain access to the house to retrieve whatever belongings we could. They dragged their feet. Post-investigation from the fire department, they boarded up the house and put a fence around it. Between that time and when I was finally able to meet a representative at the house, we found that the boarding had been pulled off and the house looted. I insisted on 24/7 security until we could get the rest of our belongings, and we were granted 7 days. We got in and recovered everything we could, but many sentimental and collectible items were stolen. They took their time. After totaling the prices of the stolen items, it was nearly $9,500. So, in addition to dealing with recovery of remaining belongings, I also had to file a police report and start calling around to pawn shops to be on the lookout for our items. That's the gist of the story. I could say more, but this is getting long already. I feel violated, heartbroken, raged, and everything in between. My question is, what are some tips to release the huge amount of rage I'm carrying towards the tenant who is showing no guilt or remorse for the fact that she burned my home and killed my cat? I can't explain the level of rage I feel. It feels like it could consume me. Also, contrary to what many think would be a trigger, I have no particular issue with fire now. Since I wasn't witness to the actual burning, that feels somewhat separate. What I am triggered by is the violation of being looted and having no real control over our home. Small things that invade my personal space are making me angry and frustrated. My sister asked to use the trailer we're staying in for a Zoom call, and I said yes, but the next 2 days she also used it without letting me know. I'm irrationally upset about this. If she had just let me know, I wouldn't have cared and said yes, absolutely. It's coming into what little space I now have and recognizing that someone had been in there without my knowledge that's setting me off. What can I do to start to release that? Lastly, a quick medication update. So the firefighters saved Dustin's meds, but for some reason never got mine. That meant I have to raw dog my switch from Lexapro over to the Wellbutrin prescription I had waiting to be filled. After a rocky day or so while my body adjusted, I felt surprisingly good on the Wellbutrin. I'm not sure anyone has tested the limits of a new med in such a way as I have, forcing it to carry me through a fire trauma. But the fact that I'm not completely losing my mind is a good indication that in normal times it will continue to work well for me. As for the sexual side effects, well, we haven't had a lot of time to test it. But on the first sexual test run, after nearly a year of false starts, I'm happy to report I finally had liftoff.
Yay.
I'm cautiously optimistic that it will continue to work for me, and I will be rid of side effects for good.
Great.
I'm also, once the belongings part of the insurance and restoration is resolved, which takes a lot of time and energy, going to be looking into some trauma counseling, if only to scream and rage to someone who is paid to hear it. Thanks, as always, to you all, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support, donations, and sharing our story. It means the world. Love you all sexually, with hopefully frequent orgasms. Tess.
Oh, my goodness. Tess has been through so much.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
The fire is one thing.
Uh-huh.
And then to be looted on top of it.
Yes.
Like, God,
Have y'all ever had, like,
Jesus.
someone break into your home or your car or anything like that?
Yeah.
Car.
I had a
yeah.
car
Yeah.
break-in.
Yeah,
and
I've
I
had a
remember
couple
being
cars.
like really freaked out by
Yeah.
that.
It's
Like this weird sense, like somebody was in here. They took my shit. It's so
It's
weird.
like
They touched
surprising how
everything.
much it bothers you,
Yeah.
right? And that's what I thought of at first, because y'all remember the radios would pop off?
Yes, the
Like-
face plates. Yeah, yeah, it is.
The face plates.
Yep.
I had one of those in college, and working at the Christian sports camp over the summer while I was
Nice.
in the parking lot.
Praise Jesus.
Yeah, somebody broke into the car, took my whole radio. And I remember it was like I didn't expect to feel so violated, but you're like, they were in my space. Like, I can't imagine your home.
yeah,
Like,
there's something really personal about that. Like,
Yeah.
just-
yeah.
yeah, completely violated. It's terrible. And the other thing too is like, it's one thing I think to be broken into, but then to be looted after you've just been through a fire.
Yeah, that's bad on top of
That's-
worse.
I
You're
mean,
already emotionally
yeah, like,
dysregulated, and now that.
it kind of like, I don't know, people who steal things off of other people's like porches, like the porch pirates, and stealing, Amazon boxes and shit like
Nick
that.
Do you
does
have
that all the
opinions on
time.
these
That
people?
I do.
I am surprised about that.
Why? Because the
Say
shopping cart
more.
thing? Are we going back to that?
And you wanting to kill half of humanity and thinking Thanos probably was right. But go
I love
on.
my mug.
I don't know.
I
Let's
know, it's actually a pretty
So
kick-ass
great.
mug.
reread this letter and tell me I'm wrong.
All right. Yeah. You're on the high ground.
Nick's
I think.
like, go on.
So anyway.
Yeah. I imagine that it's her sister or sister-in-law who's coming into the trailer.
I think it's her sister. Yeah.
Your sister's coming into the trailer now. I wonder how much that is attached to, again, just like that violation of privacy and just
Yeah.
feeling very vulnerable. I mean, for sure, I would have, some kind of conversation with your sister. I know that might feel a little awkward because it sounds like you and Dustin are utilizing her, her
Trailer.
goodwill.
Yeah. The extra space. Yeah.
And so it can be maybe feel hard to set a boundary when you're like, oh, you're helping me out, but here's that boundary.
Yeah.
I think just sharing your thoughts and feelings about it and how it affects you might be helpful, and just saying, hey, do you mind just giving me a heads up or asking before you use the space? That would mean a lot to me. I'm still just kind of reeling after all of this loss. But I don't know what kind of relationship y'all have, if that would feel helpful.
How
or
do
not.
you guys feel about when I travel, which is rare, as everybody knows? I would much rather stay in a hotel than stay with family, to stay with friends. Like, I do not want to be in their space, and in part because then I have no sovereignty. Like, I have no guaranteed this is for my space, like, stay out of it, because it's their home and they may need to pop in and out of that room or that office and get things, and I just don't
I
like
need to
that
be able to
feeling.
freely destroy a toilet without feeling bad about
As
it.
we've talked about, which is why
Yeah.
you and I can't do the hotel
Right.
thing together because, of the
That's
screaming.
the only reason.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's, I don't know.
Yeah, no, but I honestly, that's a part of it too. Like, just having access to a bathroom that, like, I don't have to be afraid of, like, I don't know, is everything tidy? Is everything correct? Like, I just
Jesus,
don't
what are
like
you people doing in the bathroom?
We're shitting on the towels, man. All right, that's what we're doing. That's obviously.
Find me a better way, Jacob.
I don't have any issue staying with people.
I was going to say, I
what
love
I'm
it.
doing in their fucking bathrooms that you people aren't doing.
When because you travel a bunch more, obviously, and we've heard stories about lots of people that you'll hang out with, and when people come to town, they'll visit with you. Mm-hmm. You don't feel a little bit like, I just feel itchy being in other people's space. I'm walking through their kitchen. I'm helping myself to coffee. Doesn't it feel a little odd being like sharing space with people, not having your own zone?
I don't know. I mean, most times when I stay with someone, they'll have like an area.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have that area, I'm probably not going to stay with them.
That's fair. If they're like, you're sleeping on the couch, you're like,
right. Or I'll get a hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when I would get a hotel. Like you obviously have like a whole wing, which is great. I think that's ideal. But like most of the time when you stay with people, you're just in their guest bedroom or like, their loft or something like that. And like that is the worst.
If I have like a bedroom and a bathroom, then I'm fine.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
If there's just your own space that's maybe not
Like,
a shared bathroom with their kids or something.
Yeah, I don't want that. And I don't want to be like in a public space. I don't want to be like, oh, you can bed down on the couch in the living room. Like, no.
Yeah.
No, I won't do that.
I relate to Tess in that way that like for me, and especially where she's at right now, where you don't have your own sovereign space. Like it's one thing if you're visiting a friend for a little while, whatever, you're there to have fun and just goof off. This is you trying to operate your life. This is you trying to put your belongings somewhere, gather your mail, do business, do all the things you have to do. And you're just in this like borrowed space that is so weird. And like just,
I don't know. What do you think about setting the boundary though? What do you, I don't know if you can.
Because sister's like,
hey,
I need to pop in.
Yeah. Like it's part of the house or whatever. And sis needs to get stuff out of there.
But Tess said she's fine. Just like ask or just
I
give a
think
heads
you
up.
should.
So I feel like, you can't keep someone.
Once you give somebody a zone and you're like, hey, this is your space, I really think
all right.
you probably need to check with them before you go back in that space. Like I
need some out of that closet.
You go by a neighbor
Either
policy
can you
now.
grab it or do you mind if I
right.
go in?
Yeah, I don't just want to
But
walk
then what
in there
happens if
anymore.
she's not home?
I know.
Oh,
That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's her house.
Yeah. It's got to be
fair.
able to be used.
I mean, I what I'm learning for myself in this situation is that like how if you are helping somebody in a situation like this where they have been taken advantage of, house fire, and then they've been looted, understanding like this person is going to be really sensitive to space and
that's
boundaries.
a difference. Like
someone
versus someone just staying at your house like for funsies or something.
Yeah, and I think if we could talk to Tess's sister, I think that's what we would say is, hey, just be mindful of that because this person's very vulnerable. They've been hurt. They've been attacked. It was a very intimate attack that they just went through. Yeah. So maybe we need to be sensitive to that. It would be tough, I think, for Tess to tell her that and set that boundary. Because I think if coming from Tess, unless she was really good at being able to explain this and just say, hey, like, when you come in here, it bothers me. And here's how I would do it if I was Tess. Is I would put it on me and not so much my sister. I would say, hey, this is not about you. I just want you to know that like I'm very sensitive right now to my space because this happened. And I know this is your space and thank you so much. It would mean a lot to me if you could let me know or give me a heads up or something. And just because I'm really sensitive right now and I feel very vulnerable.
Yeah.
You could set it like that, but then you still got to be careful with
her,
it, because it's.
I think you're walking into a landmine.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
I could see. I
mean, like, best case scenario, sister goes like, "Oh yeah, great."
Yeah.
Worst case,
every other case is
like
not great.
Really? So I guess the difference to me is it feels a little more out there if it weren't for what Tess has been through.
I don't disagree with Tess in this at all.
No,
and saying like this is upsetting if somebody like this is the only space that I have right now and it's upsetting when you come in. I don't disagree with any of that. It's just the setting the boundary with the sister. Like I'd hate to pile on a family fight onto Tess at this point when you got all this other shit going on too.
It may not be worth it in that sense. It may just be better to deal with it than
just accept like this isn't your space. You're hanging out in this space because shit's gone down.
Yeah.
And like you're
Yeah,
working
'cause-
you're working to get back to that normalcy,
That's a good
but
point.
you're not there yet.
That is a good point, because if it does go south, then it's just adding one
You're
more
just
thing
getting-
that you have to deal
Yeah,
with.
now you're just going to fight
Maybe
with
it
a
wasn't
family
the hill
member.
to die on, which I think circles over to Tess's other question, where she's asking us, I am carrying so
Yeah.
much, right?
Yeah.
Like so much rage and resentment at these people who just let their, like, the parenting was so obviously poor. They've shown such disregard. We lost a pet because of you fucks. And like,
not
you're
even
not
reach
even
out.
following
Evict
up
these
with us.
people. These people have to be able to be
I was
evicted at
wondering
this
that
point,
too,
right?
Well, they
You
are
set the
evicted
house on
because
fire.
there's
nothing.
there's
Nowhere to
nothing
stay.
there.
But they don't have like a right to come back and like re-inhabit the basement.
Probably
if
not.
the,
I would imagine they don't.
I hope
it's just the restoration all by itself, but just the fucking gall. And like, I mean, I'm surprised, but then I'm kind of not, because I feel like if I was the cause of a fire, I'd not really be apologetic, because I'm sure that is bad ideas legally. Like, I don't know that I should be
like
saying
when you get in a
anything.
car accident.
Yeah.
They're like, even if it's your fault, don't say
Don't
it.
say I'm sorry, or
Yeah.
like, are you okay? And like, but you have to be really careful. And I, obviously that's a terrible opinion on this, but like, there's a part of me that wouldn't be surprised that they're being this way, but I can appreciate where Tess is at, where it's like, my
fuck
God,
you.
you destroyed my
own
home.
up to your shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck you. Own up to your shit.
so in a situation like this, and I'm sure we all have stories in our lives where we relate, where like the other person did me wrong and they just show no remorse,
Sure.
no penitence, like nobody gives a fuck, and I'm just sitting here cleaning up the mess, and like, how do I deal with that? It is very hard to like release that resentment and that trauma and that rage. And it's really hard because there's this like unconcluded sense of injustice there, where it's like they deserve to be yelled at. They need to be called out. I need to have a say, but I can't like proactively do that. They're not going to make it right. And I'm still cleaning up the mess. I'm going on pawn websites to find my fucking family heirlooms.
Yeah.
Like, that's a joke. Like, that's
horrible.
incredible. The amount of rage that a person would feel in that situation. Jesus Christ. I mean, what do you do about that? Like, what do you do?
I
You got to settle down.
Simmer down now.
Simmer down.
What else can you do?
Simmer
I
down.
know, I know. My go-to is like
Settle the
time.
fuck down.
Time helps, but
I don't know. Meditate. Do something. Masturbate.
Now you
You
can.
can
yeah,
come now.
that'll
so
feel better.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
have more sex.
Access that. Yeah. I don't know how. I mean, I've seen all these really beautiful like teachings that talk about like, you release this stuff, you forgive not for them, but for you, so that you're not carrying this like constant reminder. But I feel like the only thing I've ever seen, I've never seen anybody be able to do that all at once.
Yeah.
The best I've ever seen is this small, like erosive process. I was talking to a client about this the other day, and we were comparing it to like pulling out little pieces of pebbles and like dropping them out of your pocket, kind of like Shawshank Redemption, where like he's chiseling through everything, and like every day he's just letting a little bit of this out through his like pant legs. And it's like this small, like little bit by little bit, dustings and dustings, you erode away that rage or that boulder of resentment in your life. I just don't know that it all happens at once. And maybe along the way, all of a sudden chunks start to fall off. But I think it's a very slow process of just every day giving yourself permission to feel something, doing some kind of like affirmative maxim where you kind of like remind yourself, I am bigger than this tragedy. I'm going to move beyond this. Karma's a bitch. That'll get back to them. Like, I don't know. Like, what do y'all do to move on from like resentment and rage?
Hi, golf.
That's definitely
lets
been a
the
good
rage
cure
out.
for
Lot
your
of golf clubs
self-resentment.
broken.
Calmed him right down.
Yeah,
It's worked so well. No, I there is a point where I think like, yeah, you do get to that piece where you're ready to forgive, not for them, but to let it go, and so that you can set it down.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But that takes time.
Yeah.
Like, I think you kind of have to just sit in the rage for a minute
Yeah.
before you get to a point. I do like her idea of just going to talk to somebody
Yeah.
and just vent to them.
Yeah.
Hire a therapist, and go in there and just say, here's all the reasons why I hate that kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need a non-judgmental
Yeah.
space to be like really
I'm not
lay
going to
out
hurt this
everything.
4-year-old, but here's the
Yeah.
shit I would do to this 4-year-old.
Yes.
You ever seen Home Alone? It's all the things that they said they were going to do to Macaulay Culkin.
Could murder a kid.
Okay.
We haven't discussed.
All right.
I don't know what the laws are in Canada.
All right. You know what?
I don't know when you achieve personhood in Canada. I think it's later.
Is abortion a little later in Canada?
Yeah, I think it's
4
5
years
year.
old?
I think it's a 5-year.
How many
thing.
months is that? What
Yeah.
trimester?
It's the 73rd
It's the
trimester.
38th trimester.
Okay, Whitney, how do you deal with rage and resentment over time? Like, how do you do forgiveness?
Yeah, I think you do have to start with just releasing that rage. Sounds like you're maybe I saw this on Discord, but you maybe are on a farm or somewhere there's a lot of outdoor space. Like, I would just go, scream into the abyss. I don't know, like throw rocks in some water, like I don't know, whatever feels like
Set
kind of
someone else's house on fire.
Yeah,
we didn't consider that.
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Find where that family's living now.
That's right. Yeah. Arson it forward, Tess.
Apparently, the butane lighter's undetectable.
Yeah,
so
apparently.
They don't know how that
Just
started.
baffle the fucking fire marshals.
But yeah, I think getting some release for me, I cry over everything, so I'd cry a bunch.
Helps.
So here's that. But after that, I think when I realize things are just out of my control, almost that acceptance of like, I don't have my family heirlooms anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have those things, and it still leaves kind of that hole in your heart, but
It's still going to be upsetting.
It's upsetting still, but I think that just kind of accepting and just letting yourself feel that is part of it. Because just like all grief, there's denial. There's maybe I'll find it. Maybe there's this, and I think once you're just through that, it's just like, well, yeah, I'm probably never going to find those things. And it's,
if you can, you might not be able to, but if you can, after you kind of get things rolling, after you get things set in motion and everything, house being rebuilt or whatever it has to happen, all that kind of stuff. If you can get out of town.
Yeah.
If you can take a fucking vacation while things are happening. Yeah. Like, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
With the loss of family heirlooms, the thing I think about is like, if I lost something that belonged to my grandmother and she's no longer alive, and if I were to imagine myself like talking to my grandma and just being like, Grandma, I'm so sorry I lost this heirloom.
Mm-hmm.
I think my grandma would just say like, hey, don't worry about it.
Right.
It's okay.
Yeah. It's just stuff.
It's not that important. Mm-hmm. You're more important than the heirloom that I left you.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, that's probably what Tess's family would say as well.
Yeah. Right.
It's just like, hey, you know what? You're okay. You survived this house fire.
Yeah.
You're fine. You're going to get back together. You're going to get your life back together. This thing's gone. It's fine. You have the memory of this thing. You have the memory of me. You're going to be all right.
Yeah.
There's no way Nick's grandma would have said that.
I don't think so.
She was an unpleasant.
I was going to say Jacob knew her
No, grandma
personally.
fucking hated me.
Yeah.
Grandma Tansman.
You lost my fucking ring.
How dare you?
You stupid
I got that
motherfucker.
ring from an Ovaltine decoder contest.
Well, I mean,
Do you know how I got that ring through World War II? In my ass.
I carried that on a
I
comfortable
sacrificed a
metal.
lot. I think
Kept
the
it nature's ring.
the nostalgic items are the hardest, like
right.
concert T-shirts or I don't know, for me, like photos, that
Oh,
can't be
photos
replaced.
are tough.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember there was it was so heartbreaking, but there was when I lived in Iowa, a couple of the members of the band that we played with, they lived on an island, basically on this river, and the river overflowed. It was like a huge flood year, completely destroyed the entire island, destroyed their home, and so we were like, okay, what can we do? How can we help? And so they brought over all of these pictures that they went in and actually got out. And so we took all of these photos and laid them out in the basement on the floor to try to dry them out, and it was just so heartbreaking. We saved a lot of them, but there are some that
Some
you're
were
just
just
completely
not.
destroyed. Because like river water isn't clean water. It's muddy.
You don't know what's scratching
it's
it, tearing
silt.
it up,
It's and it was
It's
just
bacteria.
Yeah, it was really hard to be able to to see that and just be like, oh, these are gone forever.
Yeah. It's true. It's
terrible.
There are things that are just irreplaceable, but
So
I like
Tess,
your
don't
philosophy
put
there.
river water on it.
That's definitely on the no list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life coach Jacob. Right
There you
It
go.
is. You just got life coached. Yeah, but I mean, it's just an awful tragedy. One thing that you said, Whitney, that I thought, that's a really important point is the stages of grief, and like treating this trauma, this rage, this anger, and the entire life disruption. Because I think it's easy to forget that you're grieving because you're angry, and it doesn't always feel like that's grief. And then like you're still dealing with all this. It doesn't feel like it's a tragedy, but like it's a different kind of feeling. but you really are grieving. And the way that we see the stages of grief applying generally is anytime a human goes through a significant life change. And we've talked about this on the show. Even good things often incur the 7 stages of grief as some kind of pattern of adjustment that humans go through. Even when something's great in their life, it's a significant change. So I think that that's going to be a big part of this too, until she finally does kind of reach a place of acceptance and the rage subsides and the depression subsides. That'll come in time. But Tess, we're so sorry to hear about this, but I really appreciate you letting us all know what's been going on inside the Discord. And also huge shout out to our wonderful community. Yeah. I mean, all the people that are involved in this show, the people that are involved in Ice Cream Social, just rallied around them.
Impressed
have
with
been
how
a
many
part of it.
people
Oh my God. Tons of money raised, tons of support given, people constantly in our Discord.
Too much if you ask me.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Which Tess, we're going to need you to up your Patreon.
That's it. We understand you've come into some money recently.
That's right.
And we see how much it is. And it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Come on, Tess. Be a mensch.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's just the best. But yeah, shout out to the entire community of supporters around the show and our very active Discord. People have just been loving on them so much, checking on them all the time, sharing their own stories. And I just love that. I love that we actually have a real community around this show. So thank you, Tess, for keeping us in the loop with that. We're wishing you well and a speedy recovery, and hopefully that your dog continues to be bored out of their mind and not really caring about what's going on. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're talking about genetic testing and psychotropics. You're listening to Pod Therapy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Robert Brownie Jr. Mintz, Kayla Lansbury, Kevin Chamberlain, Ben Stanley, Adam Hathaway, Dan Martin, Lib, Heyo, Andrew Langmead, Chad Meg, and Inka LaPrince. Would you like to sponsor the show? You can become a therapy producer at patreon.com/therapy. All right. I do have some geography trivia left over from last week, or I can read the room.
So, yeah, read the room.
Go on
While you're doing
Not
that,
great.
I almost designed some trivia today, but then I was busy doing other chores. I'm going to design...
Chores.
I was doing chores all weekend,
No,
man.
we know the chore you were doing.
That.
Very busy. Very busy.
I do the alphabet and everything, man. But I was going to make trivia about Disney lyrics, and it was going to be like I don't know, fill in this lyric in the middle of a Disney song, or like which of these lines was really it. So
Every time that you've had to do trivia, it's been about Disney songs.
Yeah. I have a very small array, because then Whitney's my only real competition, and like I feel like I can get her like most of the time.
He
I'll
watches
win.
way more Disney.
That's true.
Jacob surprised you a few times.
That's true.
I think I carry the Disney category.
That's
honestly.
actually
I
true.
think I've
Jacob
won
did
those.
pretty
You've
good.
shown up. Yeah.
So, from Emma, we have bizarre history of sex and medicine.
I like
right.
that. All right.
All right, Jacob, we're going to start with you.
The blue pill.
How bizarre. How bizarre.
What condition did Victorian-era physicians officially diagnose in women presenting with anxiety, irritability, excessive emotion, and heaviness in the abdomen and routinely treat through manual pelvic stimulation performed in their medical offices?
Yeah, they did.
Isn't it something like hysteria?
You shooting from the hip?
It's something like that. I guess give me the options.
A, something like hysteria.
Yes! Good.
Tim's happy about that one. He's like,
Get him!
finally.
Get him, Nick!
A, melancholy.
That's pretty good.
I like melancholy.
Neurasthenia.
He can't say that one. so-
B, Neurasthenia.
Okay.
C, female hysteria.
Ooh.
D, chloris.
Give me that hysteria. I want it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nice job.
The treatment was considered entirely clinical and unremarkable. The vibrator was later developed partially to reduce the time physicians spent in this particular office procedure.
You know,
Technology is built for people to have to do less work.
that's all it is.
When people start bitching about technology taking over for jobs,
the vibrator
that's what
ruined some
technology
jobs.
is for.
It took some jobs, man. A lot of healthcare providers unemployed.
They took our jobs.
That rabbit took our chairs.
All right, Whitney. In the late 1800s and early 1900s, Lysol was aggressively marketed to women for what purpose?
Oh.
Options.
Oh, it's got to be douching.
Okay.
Oh.
It's got to be douching.
Sounds so painful.
A, Douching.
Oh,
Gotta be.
A household disinfectant for kitchen surfaces.
Okay.
B, treatment for minor skin wounds and abrasions. C, a feminine hygiene and contraceptive douche.
Oh, God.
D, post-surgical antiseptic rinse.
I deserve points.
You do.
I mean, it cannot be fucking douche.
Just... God
I
damn.
just don't want it to be that, so I don't even want to guess
my
that.
God.
Whitney, though, here's what you have to think about.
Yes.
Men
Did
are
a
creating
man
this.
or a woman invent it?
Yeah.
Fuck, you're right.
Yeah. Dr. Lysol, famously.
Fine, I'm
A
gonna use
man.
my Lifeline and choose Jacobs. I'm gonna listen to a man, and here's
When it comes to early female diagnosis, you listen to Dr. Jacob.
a man knows.
right.
A man knows
Yeah.
men. All right.
Man knows.
He knows.
Yes, that is correct.
I hate that was right so much.
God. It's all about douching.
Lysol douche.
Lysol douche.
Can that not be
Yeah,
the name?
that's the episode title. Good job. Yeah.
I thought that was our album name.
Lysol douche.
All right.
That's Jim's screen name of the chat rooms.
It's the sidekick to Mr. Clean.
It's like it's got a nozzle. It's definitely douching.
No, I hate that you're right.
The ads were genuinely harrowing, implying that a woman's marriage
I wanna
would
look this up
survive
later.
or collapse based on her use of this product.
Oh,
Good.
God.
Good.
I mean, they were right. Like,
Have
that's
women
true.
lived through these things? Like, we lived through these times. Like,
Not easily.
I guess.
God
so.
damn. I like that this
Lysol-
whole thing is about.
That's why we
this.
live longer now.
That's right. Yeah. You're
Lysol
owed
is,
it.
of course, a corrosive disinfectant. The FDA eventually stepped in.
Oh, yay.
Good job,
My taxes
RFK.
hurt at work.
Yeah.
He's the one.
Jim,
Yes.
It's going to be good.
Vin Mariani, a cocaine-infused Bordeaux wine created in 1863, became widely popular across Europe and America and collected celebrity endorsements. Which public figure's written testimonial was the most unexpected?
Options?
Island Boys.
Like-
It's the Island Boys.
I did not see it coming. I did not see it coming.
And it's so eloquent.
Oh, my God.
We love this
Oh, my
fucking
God.
Bordello Coke wine.
This Bordello Coke wine has the legs of a 1980s supermodel. So say I, the Island Boys.
Island Boys. Go ahead.
Okay. Queen Victoria,
Ooh.
Florence Nightingale,
Okay.
President Ulysses S. Grant,
Ooh, Jesus.
or Pope Leo the 13th.
All right, it ain't going to be the Pope. It ain't going to be the Queen. I don't think they can
Okay.
do commercial endorsements. Ulysses S. Grant notoriously was broke after his term, or after being the general, or both. And so he was doing all sorts of shit for money. So it's very possibly him. And then the other one was Florence Nightingale, which sounds like that would be better. Ulysses S. Grant was a huge drinker, too. Cocaine-infused wine in France. But Bordello... Give me Florence Nightingale.
Sounds like a pick-me-up.
Give me Florence Nightingale.
No, I will not.
Shit.
Grant.
No.
I know.
Ooh, the Pope.
Pope
Il
or the Queen?
Papa.
The Pope or the Queen? I mean, the Pope, I guess.
Yes.
Yes. I was like, he drinks wine.
Catholics love wine.
They love
God.
wine.
Pope Leo the 13th reportedly carried a hip flask of it and awarded the creator a Vatican gold medal.
Jesus.
There's an actual portrait of him alongside
All
the
right,
product.
real
I would've
quick,
guessed
atheists. Real quick. If that was today's Pope, are you a little closer to Christianity? Can we sell it if the Pope is endorsing Coke wine?
No.
Okay.
It would discount it more.
Hold on.
I'd be like, what's wrong with him?
I would have more respect,
Okay.
but that doesn't mean that I would believe something that has...
Now you
We don't
believe
need you to
Jesus
believe.
Christ died
We
on
don't
the
need you
cross
to
for
believe.
our
We just
sins,
want
and you will
10%
go
of
to
the
heaven.
gross. All right, 10% of the gross. You show up on Sundays, we give you some Coke
The
wine.
gross. Not the net.
Nah, we want the gross.
Give me 10% of the net.
All right, fine. I'll settle. I got one.
You get one
Jim
verbal,
converts one of the hosts. You're welcome,
One verbal,
Catholicism.
maybe.
I got you one. All right. Did it for you, Chicago Pope. Let's get some Malort. That'll be the
That-
fucking
Malort.
body of Christ. Genetic testing and psychotropics. Hey, mental health experts. I've been
Hi.
I've been listening since the beginning, but this is my first time writing in. You've brought up a few times how finding the right SSRI or psychotropic medication is often a frustrating try-and-see guessing game, which got me wondering about something my company offers. Full disclosure, I work for this company. It's called Myriad Genetics, but I am strictly writing in as a fan of yours and not speaking on their behalf. They have a test called GeneSight, which while it won't tell exactly which psychotropic drug is the perfect fit, it analyzes your genetic makeup to help narrow down which medications you might respond to best or worst. I'm a novice on the clinical side and have no experience with it either, as I am in a different area of genetic testing. So I'd love to hear your take. Do you have any firsthand experience with pharmacogenomic tests like this? What are your educated thoughts or opinions, good or bad, on using this testing and such? If you weren't aware of this kind of testing, maybe it's a helpful resource now. Either way, I'm leaving the ball in your court and would love to hear you talk about it however you wish. Again, I'm not endorsing them or trying to make this a commercial, but more interested in your thoughts, experience. Feel free to remove the company or product name. Nope, Jim reads exactly what's on the fucking page. And whatever doesn't feel like you don't want to promote them. No, we'll fucking promote them. Send us money, Genetic Test. We want to do it. Thank you. Love the show. The extra Patreon content that has me laughing to myself, and I'm sure those around me who think I'm clinically nuts. Love ya, Cone and Scoops.
Thank you for not telling the people around you what you're laughing at, so that they might also enjoy it.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Thanks for the support.
Cone and Scoop. Dick.
I had a friend who did this.
Okay.
Yeah. They did not find it helpful.
Okay.
There you go.
The two medications that were said to be best for them were...
It was a miss?
Yeah, it was a miss. They had a bad, not a bad reaction, but just wasn't helpful.
Ineffective.
My loose
Anecdotal
knowledge
response,
of psychotropic drugs does not seem like that would be a thing that would work. That test thing.
It's a fun idea. Like, hearing about it initially, I was like, oh, that seems cool. Like, maybe. And then they were like, no.
I have a cousin that works in research, in clinical research for psychotropic drugs as a medical whatever. And, like, it is fascinating.
Yeah.
It is really fascinating stuff, but I don't know. I hadn't heard anything about that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll throw a couple of pennies on the pile here. So, like, first off, genetic testing for drugs as a general concept is great. And, like, I'm really excited for personalized medicine, especially for really difficult things like cancer treatment and, like, some really high-end things.
Right.
But your instinct is right, Jacob. Like, when it comes to psychiatric stuff, there are so many variables about whether different medicines will have an impact far beyond genetics. Like, genetics is one variable, but environment, diet, lifestyle, sleep, other co-occurring mental illnesses, substance use, exercise, like your environment of life, the people in your life, your stressors, your cortisol levels, like your work, everything has such a unique effect. And so it's almost impossible to predict what medicine is going to actually be that helpful. And so, like, when it comes to genetic testing for psychotropics, I don't see it really expediting much. Like, in the time it takes for you to schedule a genetic exam, go do the exam, most insurances don't want to pay for it because they don't see it as a necessity at all. They see it as investigational. And so when insurances see things as investigational or exploratory, they can tag it such, and maybe Whitney can talk a little bit about this, having much more experience working for the bad guys. But that does matter, right? To insurances that are like, yo, are you on a fishing expedition here, or are you treating something?
Yeah, they don't like that.
They don't like it. And, like, okay, I can understand some of the argument of that, and arguably they won't often cover these. The test can range, I think what I've seen, from like 300 to 3,000, depending upon what they want to do. I don't think it expedites
I'll do it for
much.
$250.
Yeah, there's always a guy in Craigslist do some gene.
I'll do it for $250.
Okay, 250.
Whatever you think.
250. Okay, that's honestly it's a square deal.
Whatever 250 works for you.
Yeah, we now offer it at patreon.com/therapy. We're happy to do it. So yeah, generally,
just spit in a box and send it to Jacob.
Yeah.
Lick the envelope closed. Send us $250.
Get consent first before spitting in the box. Get consent. It's important.
Oh my god,
it's important.
That one also took me too
Oh,
long.
that was
I was like, why is this so funny? Oh,
that was just excellent. Just mwah, chef's kiss.
Don't forget about consent.
Consent. We believe women. So anyway, I don't see it as very valuable. There are some medicines that are kind of this wait and see. Notoriously, antipsychotics are one that's really frustrating because people going through paranoid delusions, schizophrenia, hallucinations, they're in a very vulnerable state. And sometimes we have to play with multiple antipsychotics before we find the exact dosage and the right herbs and spices that are going to match for them. In those cases, if genetic testing can expedite things, which I don't know that I've seen convincing data that it really can, then I think there's a lot of value to it. But honestly, the back and forth thing with SSRIs, SNRIs, I don't think that's necessarily bad, because going through this iterative process of figuring out what's not working is actually valuable to us because it evolves with your treatment. You're also doing therapy. You're also doing lifestyle change. Like, all these variables get to coexist. And so I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. And there's other diseases where it's like, yo, we need an answer right now. We need to cut out the 10 middle steps and get to the final one. I get that. Mental health, I think, in my opinion, I think it's way too convoluted to like land on one single answer right away. And so it's always going to be this process of discovery.
Let me ask you this. If the mapping and all of this, if we're in a future where all of this is possible, because like genetic testing and things like that seem like right now where things are going.
Sure.
Right.
If it is just a matter of, according to the genetic testing, according to whatever testing, the pH in your brain is a little off. You take this pill that's going to fix the pH in your brain.
Well, you got to douche your brain. That's how you fix the pH thing. You got to get that Lysol douche in the brain.
Yeah.
If you're going to save the marriage, if you care about your fucking partner, Jacob,
then you need something made by a man.
Pod Therapy is brought to you
woman.
by Male Design Products. Brain douche. Buy it now.
You know what? This one checks out. Brain douche. Yeah.
I just had a couple ideas for the store.
Pod Therapy Brain Douche. Fix your brain's pH.
Oh
anyway, you were saying.
That better be a costume.
I mean, is that something?
Dickie Deuce and Lysol.
Is there something to that, though? Is there something to saying, like, we want to get to this baseline, and then it's time to have conversations?
I think there is. I mean, but that's, again, it's just so many variables with mental health.
I think we're talking science fiction at that point, honestly.
I think we are, yeah. I mean, we're just not there. And what's really tough, too, about, like, the process of psychiatric medication, it is all a little fuzzy. Like, it's gotten way better. Like, even if you look
they should just smooth those pills out.
They need to,
the tickle going down.
It's so weird. It gets stuck in the back of your throat. That's what she said.
There's a noise.
There it is. There it is. But like, even if you look at the process of like how we designed antidepressants, like the very first ones were so dangerous, like MAOIs, like they put people in cardiac arrest if you had goddamn grapefruit juice. They were very, very dangerous, very blurry drugs.
Well, you shouldn't be drinking grapefruit juice.
Don't ever.
Let's get that just out
do that
right now.
Yeah.
Then we evolved into like tricyclics.
Not this day and time.
And tricyclics were kind of like a shotgun approach where they would address the problem of depression, but they affect other things. And then we got to SSRIs, which were much more like a rifle approach where we're mostly hitting what we want to hit. There's very minimal side effects. But even that we found that isn't always working, right? So now we have these atypicals like Wellbutrin and we have SNRIs. And like you have to have all these different iterations because there's so many different levers in the brain. And I just don't know that we have a genetic test that says, bingo, here's the 25 different variables and like buttons to push in the brain. This medicine will match. We just don't even have medicines that clean. That would match in that way. They're adjusting like serotonin levels. That's just so ambiguous.
Do you think it's possible it's just not there yet?
My gamble on mental health, I don't think that would be possible. I think they can, in a blurry way, tell us our genetic data from you shows that people who have your particular enzyme matches with these things tend to do better with this. I think that'll be the best they get. So maybe just aggregates.
It would be a quicker way to get to quicker starting point.
Right. Maybe it speeds
for
it up.
some people.
What would you guess? Pure guess that out of your range of patients, what percentage of those patients do you think could possibly be cured, for lack of a better word, chemically, without interaction with you?
Yeah.
just a pill or a shot or whatever. Is there a measurable percentage?
There is.
Is there somebody? Okay.
So what's interesting is that the first line treatment for most anxiety and depression is usually going to be medicine.
Okay.
And usually it's hard to get to a therapist. So it's a lot easier to get to your family physician, your primary doc. And so the majority, at least of Americans who experience their symptoms, the first checkpoint is going to be their family practitioner.
I tell you what, I'm going to a new doctor tomorrow, and I did all of the pre-stuff today, filled out all the pre-stuff. Pages and pages of mental health questions.
Yes, this is a new thing, yeah.
So many mental health, like more mental health questions than like history of cancer.
Wow.
Like, not even close.
Wow.
Oh,
That's
okay.
interesting.
It was literally like, do you have history of cancer?
Yeah.
Yes. And now the next 10 minutes are going to be discussing your mental health.
Well, when you think about...
And asking you the same question in different directions and everything.
Well, you think about the history of healthcare, that was nothing. It was They were invisible to this. They never thought about it. And now you see how advanced it's gotten that they're like, no, this is a lot of what we do now.
Right.
And so a lot of the primary docs, that's the very first intervention. So by the time they get to me... almost all the time, there has already been some medication history. And Whitney, I don't know if you've noticed that in your practice as well, that by the time they finally get a hold of a therapist, when you ask them, have you ever tried meds? The answer is usually yes. Like at some point in their career of mental health issues, they've tried something.
Yeah. I find, and I'm trying to think on that, but I find a lot more often I have clients who are nervous about trying meds.
Okay.
And so they are coming to me first and then saying, like, these are things I'm worried about. And I actually hear a lot of misconceptions from those clients. And so it's great to be able to talk through that, remind them I'm not a doctor, but this is just information that I know. I usually have referrals for like nurse practitioners and psychiatry. And so I will refer them to the few that I trust. Yeah. And I remind them, like, those people are there to listen to your symptoms and do their best to adjust for what's best for you. They're not there to put you in a box or, like, diagnose you with things. And so, I think there's just some fear around mental health sometimes with medications. And the second thing I hear the most often is I'm a fear of being on medications the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of misunderstanding about medication, which is, I mean, the writer says, hey, I appreciate that y'all bring this up on the show. We address it. Yeah. Tess's question, it was a follow-up to her medication discussions we've had. And I think it's important that we normalize it. And I think that's why on the show we try to say, like, even things like this, genetic testing is a good idea, but even the framing, and the writer didn't mean to do this, but even that topic and interjecting it implies that psychiatric meds are very high stakes. And so, like, we better get genetic testing so we can get it right. And it's like, it's actually quite low stakes. Like, the stuff that we generally have now is very gentle. SSRIs, are the Tylenol of mental health. Like, the side effects are much lower. It's not the case that people take these and get on them for the rest of their lives. It is normal for people to have an episode of care with most medications. There are cases where people are going to need medications permanently. And that would be like, if you have bipolar disorder or you have schizophrenia or psychosis, we can't therapy that. Like, you have to balance that out. If you have a manic episode that is extremely dangerous to you, we have to do something about that permanently.
Also, by the way, high cholesterol.
I was just going to say diabetes.
Mm-hmm. Like, then you're going to be on something for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I'm going to be on something for the rest of my life.
Being on something for the rest of your life is not that big a deal.
I've been on Flintstone's vitamins.
It sounds...
guys, and I cannot quit.
Do you have high cholesterol?
It's tough to get off those.
No.
Yeah.
You
high cholesterol. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought you were talking about that other thing.
No, that's going away.
Good for you, bud.
The cream has been helping.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Glad
to hear that.
Yep.
Wonderful.
I just can't believe it was prehensile.
Yeah. He's fucking crushing it today. This guy. God damn.
I just don't know what to do about
all
it.
day.
I know.
It just fades back for the 3. So anyway, I definitely agree with you, Whitney, that a lot of people, I think, have this general fear. And a lot of people, by the time they're seeing a mental health professional and outpatient, they've talked about medicines with their doctor or been offered them or have taken them. But you're right. There's also a lack of education about it, which is why on the show we often want to normalize it, want to talk about it as something we see all the time, people use all the time. We don't want anybody out there to be afraid to do that. And so we want you to talk to your physician. We want you to, but don't be surprised if they just say, we're not going to make you jump through 32 hoops and do genetic testing.
Try this med.
Yeah, they're going to be like, try it. You're going to be like, well, shouldn't we figure out if it works first? They're like, that's what we're going to do. We're going to figure out if it works today. Like, today's the day. We're just going to give it a try. Yeah, and like some of these meds do take 3 3 to 4 weeks, which the writer's talking about, is like, that could be frustrating. And so I get the theory of like, hey, let me save myself a fucking month and take this test.
Yeah.
I just don't think the test produced that reliable of result at this time. And for psychiatry, there's so many levers, so many like things or variables in the equation.
Man,
I
it's
just don't
definitely
think this
where
is
it's
enough.
going, though.
Yeah.
SJ did one. My wife did I don't know if it was genetic, but some kind of big test that covered a whole battery of different things.
Okay.
And like most of it was pretty solid.
I mean, I think there's huge value to genetic testing for sure.
Like it's I think it's just all going that way.
Yeah. Which is good. Like it's a great advent for science. But to your earlier question, Jacob, do I think that we'll get there with psychiatry to where we can pinpoint it? I'd be awfully surprised.
Okay.
But a lot of it, like even with a lot of the meds we do in psychiatry, they do. I'm not that guy. But like even those meds, we constantly have to control for the placebo effect.
Right.
And like we have seen this amazing power of the placebo effect, especially with psychiatry.
Yeah.
We've noticed literally the color of the pill matters. Like,
Yes.
you know, whether it's a liquid or a solid, whether you inject it or not, like all of these things matter. How often we make you take it. Like the placebo effect is gigantic in mental health. And it's actually an additive. It's a feature, not a bug. Like it's a really good thing, because at the end of the day, we want anything and everything to ultimately organize for the person's success. But that's how many variables there are. You can't genetic test for placebo. And like whether that's going to juice your medicine. Yeah, you can if you take the new Pod Therapy genetic test at patreon.com/therapy.
It's about $250.
Yeah, do not click on the Lysol douche. The brain douche sold separately, not contingent, and not available in Alaska. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're talking about how to work full-time and be a master's student. Fuck, this better not be one of mine. You're listening to Pod Therapy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Robert Browning Jr., Mintz, Kayla Lansbury, Kevin Chamberlain, Ben Stanley, Adam Hathaway, Dan Martin, Lib, Hey Yo, Andrew Langmead, Chad Mag, and Inka LaPrince. And if you would like to sponsor the show, you should do so. Become a therapy producer at patreon.com/therapy.
All right, I'm in the lead.
That's a lie.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
I think I am.
I think you are too. You got a rebound.
Jacob.
I got some help from the man.
Ancient Egyptian
You're
women. The fuck is that word?
Nice.
That's horsey.
Yeah.
Horsey
Also,
dog god.
ancient Egyptian women, not cougars, sphinxes. They're referred to as sphinxes, and goddamn, all right, they don't make them like that anymore, Jacob.
Yeah.
These women know.
Half
all right?
lion.
God damn.
Now the women all be lying.
Jesus.
Ow!
Oh!
And that especially affects me because I believe women.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
damn.
know how things are.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead,
Figure it out,
Nick.
Nick.
Okay.
Sound it
Ancient
out.
Egyptian women used pessaries
Sure. Pessaries.
made from which material as a documented contraceptive method recorded in the Papyrus.
Papyrus?
Papyrus. God
Or
damn it.
papyrus.
Yeah.
Pap smear. comes
There
from
it is.
papyrus.
That's what it was.
Paprika.
I actually know this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know any of the fucking words in the question.
Yeah, like what a
but
pessary
I
know
know, I know the answer.
What was the question?
Yeah, what is the question?
Basically,
Was
these Egyptian women use this as contraceptive method.
Okay.
But
What
what
is
is
All right,
the
hit me.
material?
It's what is the substance,
Oh.
basically.
Oh, okay.
Options:
The wrath of God might
Yeah.
be on the list. Okay.
Prayers.
It might have been that.
beeswax and cedar oil,
Oh,
Okay.
I like that a
Jesus.
lot.
No, he didn't have anything to do with it.
Oh, Jesus.
salt paste, natron salt paste,
Okay.
acacia gum and honey,
Wow.
or crocodile dung.
I mean,
Man.
A and C sound awfully similar.
Yeah. Crocodile dung sounds like a winner to me, buddy. They have those in Egypt.
Better not be that.
I mean,
You know they were using some crocodile dung.
I don't know. What was A?
Beeswax and cedar oil,
What was C?
natron salt paste.
It's pronounced Natron.
No, what was C?
Really good tequila.
Oh, C.
I was like, that was like
acacia
acacia
gum and honey.
A and C sound awfully similar.
Beeswax and honey are a little different. You
Uh,
got beeswax, salt, crocodile dung, or
Isn't honey
Natron.
antimicrobial?
Yeah, dude. I like that one a lot.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is antimicrobial. Crocodile dung.
Yes.
It is correct.
Oh, nice.
Had to
Damn
be.
it!
Nice.
All the ones I don't want it
All
to be
those
Jacob's
red
like,
herrings.
That one.
We caught you, Emma. Nice try.
Damn it.
Good job, buddy. I'm just
Jacob's
glad.
killing it.
He is, and he's earned it. This is his show.
fair.
This is his time. Let the man cook.
Okay. Who's up? Whitney, right?
He's winning.
Yeah.
The Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine in 1949 was awarded for the development of which procedure?
Oh wow, 49.
Would you like
I
options?
would love some options.
Okay.
I do not know
Idiot.
that 1 year.
Wow.
My bad.
Oh, I missed 1949.
If only you would ask about 50.
That's the one I always forget.
A, the first successful blood transfusion technique. B, electroconvulsive therapy protocols. C, the prefrontal lobotomy. Or D, insulin shock therapy.
Whoa. Good Lord.
Can you repeat them?
Poop.
I'm like, can you repeat them?
The first successful blood transfusion technique.
Okay.
Electroconvulsive therapy protocols.
Okay.
The prefrontal lobotomy.
Damn.
Or insulin shock therapy.
B.
Going with ECT?
Yeah.
ECT, no.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think ECT was developed later, like in the 60s and 70s after the first medicine.
I thought that was the lobotomy.
Yeah, lobotomy feels really fucking old. And it feels like it could be back in that time. Give me lobotomy.
Lobotomy is a good guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be there,
Nice.
lobotomy, let's go.
Antonio Igas Monez won the
Great.
Nobel for lobotomy. He was later shot in the spine by a former patient,
Wow.
which is one
Don't cross
of
women.
history's
Don't cross women.
Wow.
more pointed ironies.
Fate, you fickle bitch.
Women can't work guns.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. Oh, my
Damn.
God. I mean, the aim despite the lobotomy, though. You got to give credit where credit's due.
Well, they were aiming for the head.
Fair.
And then the spine.
Yeah.
All right, hit me,
It's hard
baby.
to shoot when you're hysterical.
That's right. And douching with Lysol. It's really hard.
Okay, Jim.
Yes.
Before William Harvey correctly described blood circulation in 1628, what
Whoa.
did mainstream medical widely believe blood actually did in the body?
Oh, shit.
Oh, this is fun.
Oh, it's going to be like that humors thing from the Greek. Give me options.
Okay, options are it flowed in a tidal pattern that ebbed and flowed with the lunar cycle.
That feels good.
It was constantly produced by the liver and consumed by the body rather than circulating at all. It's separated into two distinct types, atrial and venous, and never mixed. Or D, it drained slowly into the extremities and required physical movement to return to the heart.
Oh, my
Ooh, I
gosh.
like that one.
That
All
one
these are
sounds
pretty
good.
Yeah.
That's hard.
tough. You know what? All things being equal, give me the liver one. Maybe that's it.
It was constantly produced by the liver and consumed by the blood or
Yeah.
body rather
Yeah.
than circulating at all. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Right.
This is why bloodletting made sense to them.
Ah.
If the blood is constantly being produced and used up, removing excess is
Oh, damn.
logical
Are we not
medicine.
doing bloodletting anymore?
I mean, you're not.
Are we doing
Yeah.
the live leeches thing though? Right?
were-
Are you doing bloodletting right now? Because you're kind of a bitch.
we were doing it before you got here.
I know. I bet I was doing it to my clients.
Yeah,
but
you're
sure,
doing some
Jim.
cool partying, man. So this is what that religious movie night is about.
I bloodlet
Yeah.
once a month. So
Okay,
just
got it.
keep
got
to yourself.
It. Really just readjust everything. Okay. How to work full-time and be a master's student. Hey, Pod Therapy friends, I wrote in about this once, but maybe it got eaten by the spam filter. It's pretty much exactly the title. I want to do a master's program so I can become a therapist, but I can't go without health insurance due to meds my wife and I both take. Do you think it's possible to work 40 hours a week and complete school and licensing? Additionally, I know you've talked about it before, but what do you think the best license to pursue is? LCSW? LMFT? Or is the program so intense that I won't be able to work full time? Thank you all so much for what you do. I love the show and look forward to it every week. It's such a reservoir of information. Therapod Dylan.
Dylan, the license you need to go for is a trucker's license.
You
need to get, I think it's a Class C, so you could drive the big rigs.
That's what you want.
Because they get paid.
They get real money.
Unlike the therapist.
I was going to say, what's Nick's licensure going to be recommended?
I got bad news for you. You're going to have to keep working that other job.
You're never going to not work 2 jobs.
Are you going to be able to be a job, Dylan, while working a job?
Hey, Dylan, can we come work for you?
Are they hiring? Can we work for you? All right, so what are y'all's thoughts on
so
all
first
this?
off, yes, we lose mail.
Okay, that does happen.
So
Sure.
if we haven't gotten to it,
follow up.
In over 6 months, resend that.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
it does happen.
It does happen.
The best license to pursue, LCSW.
I think that's probably true.
And can you work full-time? Depends on the job.
And you as a person.
Yeah.
No, it is incredibly difficult to do. Okay, because you not only have your coursework, and here's the thing, like in graduate school, in your undergrad, you can not read the material and show up for class and do just fine.
Yeah, you'd probably be fine.
Graduate school, you can't do that.
No.
Right.
That's fair.
You gotta
know your stuff.
You gotta know their stuff, and you have to come with ideas and thoughts.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really important. So if you're a fast reader, you could probably do that. It's not going to be, it's doable. The other thing, though, is what type of job you get. I had the best.
Oh, that's right. I was
Graduate
going to ask,
school job.
you worked in grad school, right?
I did.
Full-time?
It wasn't quite full-time.
Okay.
But I was probably doing 30 hours a week.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Remind the listeners.
I worked at a regional airport for a rental car company.
Oh, my God.
Best graduate school job ever.
How many people showed up?
Fucking nobody. And I'm not
they
kidding.
didn't even have any cars.
No. There was 2 rental car agencies.
Just Nick.
There was 2 rental car agencies. There was Hertz and Avis. Okay. I worked for Avis. We had one airline.
Fuck you, Hertz.
You know what you did.
That beef is still real.
There was one airline that flew into this airport.
Wow.
And it just flew flights from Waterloo. I think it was to Minneapolis at the time, and it's just back and forth.
I mean, they
And
had
that's
to be
it.
man.
losing money on you, right? Like,
But
there's
here's
no
the
way
thing.
this place was turning a profit.
Here's the thing. There was a flight that landed. I think landed at 5:00 in the evening, and then the next flight didn't land until 10:30. Okay, so from about 6 until 9:30, the place was dead. Not only were there no customers or travelers, the airline closed. They all went home.
Yes.
Hertz closed.
Yes.
They all went home. We were the only ones that stayed open. So it was myself. I had this entire...
You're the janitor.
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I had the entire regional airport to myself.
Holy shit.
I would bring my golf clubs, and I made like little putting
Of course
areas.
you did.
Like,
Oh my God, the
all
damn
around.
golf.
I was chipping over the baggage carousels.
Oh, wow.
I could do whatever I wanted in this place.
That is amazing.
So like in the summer, that's what I did. But during the school year, like that was just it was just time for me just to sit and study, and I just basically
that's
got
awesome.
paid to sit and study.
When you got to the postgraduate part where you were, trying to get your hours and all that stuff, you were working professional at that point. So it wasn't like something where you were still working like a corporate job or like a different industry. Once you graduated, it was all in on the industry of mental health.
Once I graduated, once I got my master's.
Yeah.
Like, did I continue at the rental car agency with a master's degree?
Well, I ask because this is something I'm seeing actually more and more, and this is a really good question. So, like, and I think there's several good questions here, but the one about like, can you work and go to school full time? I did, and I was a school teacher. So, like, I was a school teacher. I taught high school for 8 years. And then the last 3 of that, I was in grad school. And so it was every day, right? I woke up, I went and taught all my classes. Whenever I got into practicum and internship, I would go after work to clinics where I would do my student internship hours. And I work Saturdays and Sundays doing PSR for JSOs and foster kids and stuff like that. So I was working 7 days a week. It is not advised. And like the joke among like a lot of master's students and PhD students is like you become a borderline alcoholic, like trying to like hold your shit together because you are doing so much and you are working a free job at some point in grad school. A lot of times like it's a full-time or part-time job to get all your hours. But what I'm starting to see with my students is not only are many of them working, and they have to, many of them through grad school, But even after graduation, they're having to really like think about it, because some of these folks are in their late 20s, some of them are in their 30s. They have a job, they have a career, they're making some money. They're working in the hotel industry, like they're making fine money. They've
got bills.
Yeah, they have bills, and they're making decent adult money. Working at whatever they were just doing. They want to switch careers. They want to get into mental health, and they're devastated to discover that like oftentimes the starting salary in America for mental health is less than the general manager at a McDonald's.
Your experience.
Yeah. During your intern years, you're like 50,000 up to 60,000, and they're like, I currently make 85,000 working at like in a corporation, working a real job,
right?
And now I'm going to graduate and take a huge pay cut for the honor of getting into this profession that took me 7 years to earn the education to get into.
I'm sorry if there was any confusion. I was not making 85 grand at Avis.
Not at Avis. Yeah, okay. I assumed it was.
I just want to make that clear in case anybody got the wrong idea.
I think that's a Vegas thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a Vegas thing. But no, this is a real problem.
Yeah.
And so like I have a lot of students that struggle because they're like, I want to enter this profession fully. I want to earn my hours. I want to start my internship. But like in Nevada, at least, if you start an MFT or a CPC internship, which are two specific licenses in Nevada, along with other things like LCSWs, you're on the clock. I don't know how social work does it, but like you have 3 years from when you start your internship to complete it. And so you really have to be diligent to like find a path where you're going to get all these hours, and you get paid for postgraduate internship. Like it's a real job. But for a lot of them, they're like, I would have to lose money to go do therapy every day to earn these hours, so that one day in 2 or 3 more years, I might finally enter this career fully. And even then, it has a ceiling, like unless you get into different lanes, if you're just a practicing therapist for an agency or whatever, there's a ceiling to how much money you can make, because the insurance is just, no offense, Whitney, criminally underpay all the providers, just flagrantly violating parity laws. They keep getting caught for it.
Jim's never been paid by an insurance company,
this
so
is
I
true.
don't know why
This
he's
is
saying
true.
that like he has.
She got me back.
I was like, I on that.
Jesus, calm down with the bloodletting. Okay, we get it. You're on the rag. So yeah, but like it is a really complex process, and it makes me sad. And I was just talking to somebody about this the other day, because some of my students are graduating. It's May, and like it's really sad because they're like, well, do you know anybody that got their master's and never got into the profession? And I'm like, tons of people. And I'm sure you both do too. Like,
I don't know people who got into the profession. Just know people who got their masters and didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, I know tons of people that got the masters, and I have people that never stopped teaching in the district because they were getting benefits and PERS and good money, and they were like, I'm not going to throw away my 9-month calendar and like all this stuff to go work full time and make the same money or be less. So it is a really erratic industry, and unfortunately we do see a lot of people asking this exact question of like, can I afford to stop working to go to grad school, because it's a very rigorous process, and then postgraduate, am I going to be able to transition into this career fully in a way that like I get insurance, I get benefits? A lot of like postgraduate new therapists are just contractors, and it's very hard for them to get like a salary full-time gig.
Yeah. I mean, and definitely blame the insurance for a lot, but I feel like the crime is that there are agencies that are taking most of the money and paying their therapist shit. So
there's a problem with that too, but there's only so much they can bill. And like in Nevada, like this whole investigation just revealed that basically all the big insurances in our state were just fundamentally kneecapping the reimbursements by 25%, just illegally breaking the parity law. They just not paying. And so it's like, oh, that's why we can't afford to be in the profession. That's why places are closing. And then like authorizations are being denied. And like, anyway, we won't get into all the business of it, but like, it's a really tough industry.
Writer, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, you can do all those things.
So Whitney, during grad school, what did you do? Did you work? Were you just a student? Because OnlyFans wasn't around then. So like, how were you paying the bills?
There were other ways.
Okay. All right. Tell us about
Real
this
life.
ancient art.
Real life OnlyFans.
You too worked at an enterprise rent-a-company.
Yeah, I worked part-time at an after-school program, like at the YMCA. I was very lucky that I had help from family and things like that. I lived with a family member. I didn't have rent, things of that nature. I was right out of undergrad, so I just went right into grad school.
And see, that was
part of it.
Yeah, that was like in my graduate class, there was 10 of us. And it was a mixture. I think like 5 of us came right from undergrad, and 5 had already been out working and were coming back to get their masters.
Oh, yeah.
And so it was interesting because there were benefits to both.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
and
I almost
so,
envied sometimes people who'd been out in the real world.
Yeah, because they had that experience and like they had the, they got the book smarts, but then they could also say, Yep. And here's what this looks like in real life.
Yeah.
And here's what the book doesn't tell you. And like, that was really helpful to have that. But the downside is exactly what Dylan's talking about. It's like they had a lot of obstacles. You know, I mean, I didn't have kids. I didn't need.
Yeah, I was going to say you need a support from a spouse or a family or like.
And not to mention, but like maintaining a relationship through graduate school is difficult. I remember myself and two of my classmates were on a panel talking to a bunch of undergrads, and they were asking questions about like graduate school and what can they expect and what's it like. And somebody asked the question, well, I know graduate school is really, really stressful. And, you know, how is it as far as like relationships, maintaining relationships? And the three of us just kind of looked at each other because all three of us were going through a divorce at the time.
Wow.
Like, who's going to answer this? No.
We're like,
another one bites the dust.
Great.
We're 0 for 3. We have chosen poorly.
It can be done. Yeah, no, it's a very taxing thing, Ryder. So grad school is very hard. As you were pointing out, Nick, it is not like your undergrad. But this is something that the majority of my students have jobs. I think the majority of my students have full-time or part-time jobs. And there are a lot of them that don't, but I did it. And so it is possible to do. It's definitely going to be taxing during the student internship phase. I think that's a real serious thing. And then I'm glad that we are also bringing up the postgraduate phase, because I think a lot of people just think all I have to do is get to graduation day. And then, hoorah, I'll jump into this industry that desperately needs me. The world is crying out for mental health help, and I'll be greeted with open arms. And the truth is, the average nurse who graduates college at 22 is going to start with a higher salary than the average counselor who got 10 years of school, or 7 years of school plus 3 more years of postgraduate apprenticeship in order to enter the profession. So it is still a profession that has a lot of growth to do. We are still working on it nationally and regionally, trying to get everything equitable, getting everything right. Also, it's not the only healthcare profession going through its woes, right?
Yeah.
Like, American healthcare system is just shitty.
Yeah.
So not to just overly do it about, behavioral health and all that. There's a lot of problems, and it's very complex. But I want to circle around. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to... Were you going to circle back to the
licenses?
Licensure? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, go on.
This is the part where Whitney just gets a blowjob from all of us. So, yeah, social work wins. But I want to explain why.
The
hairball.
Please be a
just
hairball.
groom. Don't have to choke on this shit. All right, so the writer says LMFT, so that's licensed marriage and family therapists, versus licensed clinical social workers. So just really quick, because I think this is a good question. We have a lot of people that listen to the show like this person who are aspiring into the profession. Generally speaking, the mental health professions are your PhDs, what we call clinical psychologists or just psychologists. There's also a version of that called a PsyD, same thing. Then you have, in order of maturity, the psychologists are the OGs after the psychiatrists, the medical doctors. Then we have our older siblings, the social workers, who are the next ones on the scene. They get a master's in social work. And after that, they can do multiple paths in social work. They don't have to go full-blown clinical. But if they do, as our friend Whitney did, they become a licensed clinical social worker. And that license carries a lot of weight. And there's been a lot of equity building in the last few decades between all the licenses. And so today, they're actually much more equitable than people realize. Because for the longest time, only LCSWs could work with the Department of Defense, could work with VA, could take Medicare, because we could all take Medicaid in our states, but only social workers could take Medicare. And so they just had a lot better access. They were easier to impanel with insurances. They're just universally known. They could easily get jobs with hospitals.
What you could diagnose.
Their scopes were much broader just because they've been around forever. And so they just had it all. And then when MFTs and then later counselors, which, in Nevada, we call them clinical professional counselors. A lot of other states call them just LPCs, professional counselors, LMHCs, licensed mental health counselors. They're all the same license. We just label them differently. They were the youngest ones to come around, and so they've been the latest ones to get caught up. But now all the licenses are impaneled if they want to be with Medicare. All the licenses, for the most part, can work with the military, the DOD. I think social workers still have a really good in with the VA, but they can hire externally. But social workers still have a lot of benefits, and one of the biggest ones is portability of the license. So if Whitney decided, fuck Nevada, I'm the hell out of here, I'm going to Arizona. it would not be that hard to move an LCSW from one state to another. Is that your experience?
Depending on the state.
Okay, does it depend on the state?
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah. Some are easier than others.
Okay, that's fair. The MFTs have a hard time of it. So,
Okay.
like, they're working on something that's license portability right now, but their license, like, dynamics state to state vary wildly.
Really?
It's really, really hard. Now, the counselors just passed I forgot what it's called, but it's the Counselor Compact. And so now we have like almost 40 states in the compact where once this thing enacts in Nevada, which is going to enact this summer, I can apply for privilege to practice in Florida or Pennsylvania. And basically I don't have to get a license there. I just get a pass.
Okay.
And so we're all part of the same like agreement where like if they want to practice in Nevada, they can ask for permission. They can get a privilege, a pass to practice, and they can do telehealth or they can move here if they want. And they don't have to get a whole nother license. Whereas I think LCSWs have generally worked their shit out across most states. I mean, you guys have been around for so long. You have pretty universal standards. Like, I would think it's not impossible. You're licensed in multiple states as it is, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. And even then, the differences that mattered, like being licensed in Nevada and Oregon, with Oregon, they're very specific, like they're called OARs. And so it's basically their rules to like follow. And so you have to take a little mini test on these OARs to apply for their licensure. But usually, yeah, you have to pay a fee. And I found that moving my license, my master's level license from Texas to Nevada was pretty easy. But I remember at that time, they were like, oh, it's only, I mean, what they told me, I guess, or what I read or heard was that Texas has higher standards than Nevada. So it's like,
which
that was an
probably checks
easier
out.
way to go Texas to Nevada. Now going to
We
Nevada.
are
to
the
Texas-
51st best state.
Proudly.
Yeah, proud.
Fuck
yeah,
you, Puerto
so
Rico.
no offense, Nevadans, but that was just the word on the street. So
Okay.
yeah, so I don't know. I haven't tried other states moving to those, but I have friends that are LCSWs and they're licensed in Arizona or other places. And
Do you
it's not hard.
hear just through like colleagues and stuff that they do experience problems trying to move their license?
I guess I wouldn't say problems. You just don't know what the
Okay.
flow is going to be.
Yeah.
If
you don't have that
state-
guarantee of like there's been an agreement or something
right,
like that.
like for example, in Oregon, you have to take certain tests to be licensed there or have different hours. So Oregon, I have to do 40 hours annually of CEUs, and then or not annually, but every 2 years. And then
So you have to do each state's requirements.
I do, but a lot of them overlap,
double
so
up.
it's actually
Yeah,
kind of
that's
nice.
good.
Yeah,
there you go.
but Nevada's 36, so I have to
Okay.
do a few extra. It's just stuff like that. I don't know. It's
Okay.
not like hard,
Not
but
impossible.
It's just different. You have to be aware, and
Well,
they may not accept your request.
In the last
so.
legislative session in Nevada, they're currently working on a social work compact as well. And so my
Okay.
understanding is that nationally, the social work professional organization is advocating for a compact between all the states. It's still kind of in its early development. I think the counselors are kind of the first ones through the wall, and the social workers are like, let's see what happens, these idiots. And so far, we seem to be surviving. So like, all right, let's go. But the MFTs have sworn it off. They've come out as the AMFT
MFTs are
professional
always
organization.
kind of their own thing.
They're always in
right?
their own
They're
fucking
always in their
thing.
own lane. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
What are
their
you doing
thing
over
is
there?
they
you
want
doing?
license portability, and so they're trying to get each state to kind of like just consent to like one standard. Like this is how but getting each state legislature to vote on changing their entire licensing platform is a lot. Like versus just getting them to opt into an agreement with other states in which you can share therapists. So, yeah.
I also feel I just read, I think it was on Reddit, I was reading about the different licensures and things like that. Most people, their impression was that, yes, everything you said about LCSWs, and I'm a stan, obviously, but they were saying that, you know, these other professions, or the other licensures, LMFT and LPCs, all of that, that their lane is very much more clinical, like it is therapy directed. And in my program, I don't know if all social work master's programs are like this, but you could kind of choose if you wanted to do direct practice or macro level.
Okay.
And so I chose direct practice, so I got more of that work with maybe 1 or 2 classes that were macro level, which were awesome classes. Like, oh my God, I love them. But I just knew I needed to stay in my lane. So there was that.
See, I did the opposite.
Really?
Yeah, because I went the macro route.
Okay.
So like a lot of my graduate school, the second year.
Well, you're doing kind of macro level work.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
there you go.
Kind of worked out. So like a lot of this stuff that like, well, my cohort from the first year, all but No, actually, I think I was the only one from my cohort that went social administration. So like the rest of them, they were all learning about clinical theory and all of that stuff. I was learning about grant writing, fundraising, political,
politics, like laws to pass and things like that.
All of that stuff. And so that was all the stuff that I was
that's
doing.
really cool.
Yeah.
I will also say, for anyone out there, maybe I've said this before, but my undergrad school, they did not have a social work degree. So I had to take the slightly over 2 years of grad school, but my program in grad school, if I would have had a social work undergrad, it would have only been 1 year.
Same for
I just want to throw that out there for
amazing.
people. Like if you have not gone, I guess most people are done with
that's a huge
undergrad
boost.
by now. But
because my second year we met up with that class.
Gotcha.
So like they got their BSW.
Yes.
Then they had to do a semester. They did a summer semester.
Yes.
And then they joined us.
Yes.
Right after that.
yeah.
Yep,
So
thing.
it can save you money, time.
That's
all that.
great.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
And honestly, if it dumps out on an LCSW path, that's fantastic. I
Exactly.
mean, you can't go wrong. Like, so when people ask me, which license, I always tell them, you really can't go wrong with LCSW. Like, it's the gold ticket. You'll be welcome everywhere. You can do business everywhere. It's generally understood and accepted. One of the only downsides that I've really seen with social work is the title social work.
Yeah.
Like that I think it still is a little confusing for the public.
Yes.
'Cause
They
it's
think
like, you're a
CPS.
social worker? Are you going to come steal my kid?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
what it
exactly the
is.
connection always.
Yeah, and you're like, yes, I am. But
Yeah.
not because, you think that's what I do.
Coincidentally.
Yeah, I do
I
eat
do
children.
too.
But I mean, like we kind of talked about this last week when we were talking about the DSM-5. Like, read through the committees
Right.
on that.
A lot of social
A lot of
workers.
LCSWs on that. Like the majority of clinical therapy that's happening right now
That's
is
true.
being done by social workers.
Yeah.
But you don't really think about it that way. 'Cause
No, you
one.
don't.
You just think therapist.
And most
You
people
think
don't know what
about-
the letters
yeah.
all mean. They're
I
just
know,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
oh, those are your letters. Great.
Which is fun on this show that we get to
No.
unpack all that.
You know what other license is
fine.
transferable across all 50 states? Is the CDL.
Yeah.
Oh, going back
You
to
don't
that
want
CDL.
you don't want to get that license.
I mean, as a backup, get the CDL. I
Yeah.
think it's solid.
You can always do therapy in the truck.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Fun little side note. I don't think I ever really talked about
you
it.
know there's someone doing
Somebody's doing that 100%. They're just driving.
Eastbound or down. I'll make you feel better.
They're using the handles.
Yeah.
The cool names, the nicknames. Hey, Candy Cane. So with
What's up, arm patch?
there it is. In Nevada, this last legislative session, there was a big beef between the MFTs, the CPCs, and the psychologists.
Okay.
Because the psychologists are kind of the OGs. They've been around forever. And one of the things they like to do is just meddle in the licenses of the other professions. And they've put specific restrictions on CPCs and MFTs that they didn't dare do to LCSWs. And so now the CPCs and MFTs are trying to get some of this language ripped out because we're like, we didn't add this. These other people have no right to do this. We will tell you what we're competent to do and not to do. And in every other state, we don't have this stupid restriction, so we're going to remove it. It's a restriction on assessment, which is written in such an egregious way that by the letter of the law, we shouldn't even be doing like suicide assessments. Like it's silly. It just
Wow,
has to
that's
be
stupid.
violated. Yeah, it's just absolutely dumb. And so we were all rounding up, like signing these petitions. And it was really funny because, the MFTs and CPCs, as we're like trying to fight this fight, we're like, man, how are we going to, win this argument? Like we do outnumber the psychologists, but they're powerful. They have like a strong professional organization. And so we reached out to the social workers of Nevada. There's like a social work organization. And it was so funny to like see the social workers because they were like, fuck the psychologists. Like they were so
Yeah,
quickly on
yeah.
our side. And
we will advocate.
It was honestly, it was the cutest thing because it really felt like a moment of like our older sibling was like, who fucking touched you?
Yeah.
Like kicking the door open. And it was just really funny because like as we were talking to the psychologists, we're like, yeah, we noticed you guys never seem to fuck with the social workers. What's up with that? And it's like, because they're a hill of ants. There's thousands of them.
We will attack.
They will show up.
It's not just you have to understand though, it's not just the numbers. It's the culture of a social worker because like our whole profession was built off of that.
Yeah.
Like that's where social work came from.
Right.
Their whole
It
profession
came
is
from-
being in your business.
Yeah. I mean, it came from grassroots efforts to like
Yeah.
completely change
Yeah.
policy and completely change organizations,
Yeah.
community organizing. Like, that's all social work.
I was so pleasantly surprised because, like, I remember I sent this email like on a lark, and the people working on the project with me were like, "The social workers don't give a fuck. They're not even in this fight. Why would they get involved at all?" And I was like, "Look,
said,
we
"Hold my
need
beer."
allies."
No.
Yeah, and I just send it, and like they replied that night. Like I sent it at like midnight, and like by the next
We
morning
are
they're like,
overworked and replying.
"Here's
to all
my
emails.
cell phone. Like, tell us where the fight is." And I was like, Jesus Christ. So yeah, I love me some social workers. They are always down to get into the fight. But yeah, like these are all great options, Dylan. And so the good news is if you feel called to this profession, it is possible to enter it. It is possible to work a full-time job and enter the profession. I would just, very much encourage you to sit down with your spouse, do your family finances. I know we're making a lot of jokes that like it's not a very well compensated profession. It's not compensated well enough for what is required. If you can go get a 4-year bachelor's in nursing degree and start at $85,000 a year working 3 nights a week, that's great. If that's the standard, it's not okay that people in mental health are going to school for 7 years, doing 3 years postgraduate, and making between 50 and 70 after that much work, right? It's just not appropriate. They should be starting at 6 figures without a break. It's just instantly.
I agree. They're being paid too much.
Yeah, that's the argument. So definitely make sure, and I always tell people this before they enter the profession, sit down, do the math, make sure that you and your household have thought it through, that you've mapped it out genuinely. I think it's really important that people actually sit down with the real data. You can go to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. They have a really good database. They usually lowball it a little bit in my experience, but Nevada is also the lowest location quotient state in the country, which means we have the fewest providers. So like, I guess we probably do get paid a little bit better than some of our peers in other states. Yeah. But look at it really carefully. If the maths, I think it's a wonderful profession. And also, you don't have to make that median number. Like if you're just going to be a line therapist at an agency, then yeah, you're probably where the BLS says you are. Yeah. But there's so many different lanes you can get in. You can go work in insurance. And, I tease Whitney a lot, but she's one of the ones who does a good job with it. Like she's trying to make sure that the patients that are part of her panel are getting the care they need. She's providing quality assurance. She's making sure the colleagues stay strong.
I prove everything.
That's right. Yes. Help them all. But like that,
she's
that's
the only
a
one that has the double approve stamp.
That's You approve this people twice? Yeah, I did. And I gave him a car.
You know what?
I'm a social worker. Fuck you.
Put a little extra on there for yourself.
She adds tips to the authorizations. You give them 20%? Yeah, they did a really good job. The bread was on time. I really appreciated that. But yeah, there's a lot of different lanes that you can go in, whether that's private practice, working for the government, as Nick does, like inspecting it. There's so many different like lanes that you can get involved in that are not just the typical path. And I think that's important to keep in mind too.
At the end of the day, if you're passionate about it, you can make it work.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I feel like I've been doing this now for 4 years, but I've got my full-time job.
Yeah.
I've got mental fit personal training. I've got the podcast.
Yes.
And I stay busy.
Yeah.
Like every morning, I've got personal training in the morning for at least 1, maybe 2 hours. Then I work my 9 to 5. Then I go back to the gym for 2 or 3 more sessions.
God damn.
And I do that every day. And it's like, but if it's something that you're into and it's something like you can, it's amazing what you can really
feel
do.
As exhausting as it sounds.
Yeah, you can do it.
Well, Whitney, you do private
if you
practice
hate the
as
person
well.
you live with, you can do it.
Yeah, it's easy when you hate everybody around you. But you've been doing private practice now for a long time. As long as I've known you, I think you've always had private practice. You've also worked with agencies. You used to work with JSOs. You tell those stories all the time.
Yeah.
You've worked in the corporate side for the insurance infrastructure and care delivery. I think you've worked in hospitals as well, haven't you?
No.
Okay, not in inpatient settings?
No.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of lanes. I work in education too, and teach it. So I mean, there's a lot of
social
pieces.
workers. There's all kinds of stuff, and you'll find a way because, and maybe again that is just a social work degree. I can't speak for other licensures, but there are a lot of different options, and as you move through your experience, you will meet people and they will provide you with other opportunities. That's how I've gotten a lot of mine. Is somebody's like, hey, are you looking for work? Are you looking for a job? You want to do groups? You want to do individual? My agency's this. You'll be presented with so many things. That is true.
They're always hiring. That has always been true.
Yes.
Like there's a cap on how much we're going to earn, but like there's always jobs. And so that's really nice too.
And usually you can leverage like what are you making before to
Yeah, you can always climb the ladder. And then what's really nice about this profession, too, is you can patch together multiple income streams. And that's kind of fun to be like, okay, I'm not always doing one thing. Like I do private practice on the side. I do this now. Like I consult with a company to help them supervise their interns or whatever. Like that's really fun. So Dylan, I think it's a wonderful profession. Obviously, we do this for the love of the game, but we also survive, and people can do that. And my students survive. They go on to their careers. I just really want people to come at this with their eyes wide open. It's a very specific, area and industry. It's very specific careers. Doing your research, interviewing other therapists. I don't know if y'all did that before you entered the profession, but that was one of my big stop points. You didn't do that before you became a life coach?
No.
That was one of my big points before I went into grad school is I went and found a couple of therapists. I asked them if they'd have coffee with me, and I had just a bunch of questions to just ask them about their profession. I said, hey, you don't have to answer about money stuff, but I'd like to ask. And if you could just give me a range, I need to know before I enter your profession. Does this pay?
I have a story you just reminded me of from grad school. One of my professors, because I'm like, I didn't do that. I'm like, oh yeah, because all my professors, or not all, but a handful would be like, they would share about their private practice, in our classes. But I have this memory. I'm like, I swear I didn't make this up, right? It's not like a fever dream. But one of our professors, he was talking about, the monetary side, because I think a lot of us have always been worried about getting paid less and being a social worker and all of that. Yeah. And knowing that going to work for the county, you'd make like $20K a year back then. And so, but he's like, he started bragging about like owning a Ferrari or something. He was like in his 60s. And I was like, what? Okay.
All right. Spell Ferrari.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if this is the Ferrari.
Yeah. Ferrari.
I mean, they're like
Toyota Ferrari.
Are you saying Ferrari? Yeah, we're saying the same word. Ferrari.
I was like, as the kids say now, it was very cringe at the time, but you're like, what? And then I'm also like, how did you do that? Because like, I can't feel like you did that ethically. I don't know. Like something's happening there.
You're probably not wrong.
Know.
Anyway, Dylan, I hope that you'll consider the profession, but do the math first. Make sure it matches your life, or do the CDL thing if you're watching on YouTube, and you can see all the extra things that Jacob is doing. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are wrapping up the show. You are listening to Pod Therapy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Robert Brownie Jr. Mintz, Kayla Lansbury, Kevin Chamberlain, Ben Stanley, Adam Hathaway, Dan Martin, Libs, Heyo, Andrew Langmead, Chad Mag, and Inka LaPrince. Would you like to sponsor the show? Become a therapy producer at patreon.com/therapy.
All right. Well, as we wrap up the show, we do want to remind you it is Mental Health Awareness Month. Boy, would we like your support.
Be aware.
Come on down to patreon.com. You are now aware. Patreon.com/therapy. You can get our extended show ad-free a day earlier. You join our live Discord community this month at the Therapod level and up. You'll get to see our videos of all the episodes. At the end of the month, we're going to do a live show. You'll be invited to that. You also instantly access a 9-year library of all sorts of fun therapist stuff, interviews with specialists, skills, research, news updates, and then fun behind-the-scenes stuff, getting to know the hosts, as we are doing this month, where you can listen to Nick do a deep dive interview behind the pod with Emma, and then Whitney and I are also coming up this month. Come check it out at patreon.com/therapy. And we nobody to thank, right?
No, fuck these people.
Fuck everybody. All of you. We'd like to thank the benevolent, revered, generous, and flagrantly pro-therapy diehard who loves you all so much they give till it hurts. Our partner, Pickett. And we want to thank our bosses, the mysterious and shrouded Illuminati members of our fan club, the Thera Producers. Thank you, Jake Schneider, Myra, Robert Brownie Jr. Mint, Smitty Scoop, Richard fucking Macy, Judy Schneider, Malia, Leon Kassab, Carolyn Albert, Kevin Chamberlain, Tess Miller, Dan Martin, Sammy Scoop, Slurpy Kaye, motherfucker, Ben Stanley, Slapped in Your Face, Sarah Smith, Adam Hathaway, Byler T, Mike Helm, Oscar Swanrose, Paris, A Sunny Boy, Darren Cunningham, Lib, Sandra McWaffle, Team Monaco, Thunder, Cougar, Falcon Scoop, Heyo, Hannah Marie, Andrew Langmead, Emma, Tonka, and Pony Soprano, Alina, Brady Malaychik, Chick-fil-A Show, Gabriel Adame, Sean Sutherland, Max the Ginger Scoop, Chad Mag, Adam Warren, Inka LaPrince, Sam Cohn, Be Gay, Do Crimes, Elio Dare, Not Kira Knightley, and Amy Aardvark.
And if you'd like to hear this episode uncut and unedited,
And why wouldn't you?
and enjoy our spontaneous side projects, go to patreon.com/therapy. And thank you for supporting mental health.
Well, that's all the time we got for this week's session. I want to thank our landlords, SJ and the Ruckus, Scenic Koi Pond Studios, and thanks to those of you who contributed to our show today. We really appreciate it. But remember, Pod Therapy isn't something to keep all to yourself. Share the episode with the world. Tag us on the socials when you do. It's at PodTherapyGuys on Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. It's /PodTherapy on Facebook. Don't forget about all the extra goodies at patreon.com/therapy.
Do you want to submit a question to the show? You can ask anonymously at podtherapy.net, email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com, or click the link in the episode description to be taken to our anonymous Google form. I'm Nick.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jim.
Thanks, and we'll see you for your appointment next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.